Hopefully some people join. Hopefully this connects to Facebook.
Or not.
It says we're online with Facebook, Rod. It says we're
Sure
online
it
with
does.
Facebook.
I believe it.
And we're online with YouTube, and we're still catching up with Twitch, but we'll be there. Thank you so much for joining us. We're doing something different, obviously. This weird window over here that has my arm in it and the back wall of Rod's house, that will be occupied by James at some time. It's just that he's running a little bit late because he has, unlike Rod and I, he has a real job.
Yeah.
That must be, isn't that just cute? Isn't that just quaint?
It is.
Oh, we have 11 listeners on Facebook. By the way, or followers on Facebook. Elizabeth, James's sister, just said, hello, boys.
Hello.
If you're watching on Facebook, send us some questions, some Q&A stuff. We would love to do like some Ask Us Anything. Or remember we used to do Text Us the Truth on the old Weird Show? Just whatever you want. Text us the truth. Whatever the truth is to you, text it. We'll read it. We'll discuss it. You know, no big whoop. So just send that right now.
No big whoop.
Right now.
So there's this guy, and he works at a pickle factory.
Yeah.
He's worked there for years and years. And during dinner one night, his wife notices he seems very preoccupied, very uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "What's wrong? Why? What's going on with you?" He says, "Today at work, I had the strongest urge to put my dick in the pickle slicer."
Okay.
And his wife's like, "Why would you?" He said, "I know, it's silly. It's like I'm embarrassed, but I can't stop thinking about it. It's like this urge, you know." And she's like, "Well, don't," because I wouldn't, honey, I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple weeks later, he comes home really early from work, and he's got that box of stuff from his desk, you know. And she's like, "Oh my God, what happened?" He goes, I couldn't take it anymore, and I stuck it in the pickle slicer, and they fired me." And she's like, "Okay, they fired you, but what about the pickle slicer?" He says, "Yeah, they fired her too. It was a whole thing."
It's good stuff. Okay, hold on. Hey, James. Oh no, why did it get quiet? Oh, no, it's not doing this again, is it? It's doing that thing again. It was fine. Ah! Hi, James. So much. There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, Dustin says this brings back memories. Number 3 of the 11 here. Ari says John and Rod are the best. That's the truth. Cody Akins is with us. Hey, Cody Akins.
Hey, Cody Akins.
John and Rod are the best.
John and Rod. Well, we were the only ones on at the moment that was sent because somebody was late for some reason.
That's cool.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to talk about this. And by the way, guys, send us some questions, some text us the truth, whatever you want on Facebook, because we only have one person watching us on YouTube right now. So most people are watching us on Facebook. If you want to just send us anything to talk about, we totally will. I want to talk about this real quick because I saw this story a couple of minutes ago.
Is it sex, baby?
You're watching, you can see this. Daniel Craig says he goes to gay bars to avoid fights at straight venues. Quote, from his portrayal of a more vulnerable Bond to his cerise suit jacket on the red carpet, Daniel Craig has worked hard to defy expectations of masculinity. So it came as a little surprise when the actor revealed he liked to frequent gay bars to avoid the, quote, aggressive de-swinging of hetero spaces. Quote, I've been going to gay bars for as long as I can remember, Craig said on the podcast Lunch with Bruce. One of the reasons, because I don't get into fights in gay bars that often.
That often. I mean, sometimes.
So he does get into some fights. Okay. First of all, just want to know from anybody watching and from Rod and James, do you believe him? Do you believe that's why he's going to gay bars? I'm not.
No. I could not care less if the man is
whether
straight
he's
or
gay or not, but why would you? I don't care if anybody's gay. I care when they go through such weird hoops to claim
that
they're not. Having said
he's married
that,
to Rachel Weisz.
what, Rachel Weisz? Is he married?
Rachel
Yeah.
Weisz.
Yeah. I'm not saying that he's not happily
was-
married to a woman.
She was never better looking than she was in The Mummy.
I'm just saying that's the lamest reason I've heard to go to gay bars. Like, go to gay bars because you like gay guys. Even if you're not gay. Go to gay bars because you love dance music, house music. You love that.
There is no finer form of entertainment than men dressed as women singing disco songs.
True. This is
I don't give
true.
a shit who you are. If you've never sat and watched a drag show, you've never been fully, truly entertained. That shit is great.
Yeah.
Those ladies are awesome.
Right. I don't have a problem with him going to gay bars.
I'm all for it. They're fun as shit.
I just have never heard. I don't get into fights. It's like when women say I go to gay bars because then I don't get hit on.
Yeah. No,
That
you get
makes-
hit on by other women.
Yeah, if you go to a lesbian bar, then you're
Yeah, depending on what
yeah,
kind of.
good luck
gay
getting
bar,
out
I
of there.
guess.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
No,
Have you ever?
I don't frequent bars, but I do occasionally go to bars. I go with my friends and watch football games and shit. Used to go to bars all the time
Yeah.
to see bands, and that was my only. I don't drink, so I'm not gonna sit in a bar and drink all night. But if there's a band, I'll go. Especially if it's a band I like, I'll go just about anywhere to see a band.
Yeah.
I never got in fights. Never. And part of that is because I wasn't a dick looking for that. Like, I have friends who are fucking 50 years old that still talk about, oh, go to fight at a bar. And I think, what the fuck are you doing in your daily life that getting in a fight in a bar is a good thing? That's
right. I don't know how to
Probably
hold my
age out of that
temper.
at some point.
I have the self-control of a toddler.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You should probably age out of the bar fight after.
Honestly, you should be
Probably
aging out of
25.
bars.
Yeah.
Like, you should be aging out of bars at a certain point. Maybe I'm overstepping myself because I've never been a bar person, but I think you should age out of bars. Some people have made some really good points here on Facebook, so we need to get to them. Katie Lynn says bisexuality is a thing. So it could be true.
Could be.
Maybe
Sure.
Daniel Craig's bisexual. I mean, he has got two first names. Why put any limits on him? Daniel and Craig. Isn't that his? He don't have a last name.
Two first names. You
so
can't
he said
trust somebody with two first names.
Ari says my uncle goes for the beer or free beer that they buy him. Gordon says I
Yeah.
hang out in women's restrooms for the clean seats. You hang out in the women's restrooms for the clean seats?
That's how you end up on a list.
Yeah.
You're just, what are you doing in here? I'm just hanging out. Because of
I
the
really
clean
like how clean the
seats.
seats are.
Clean seats, man.
It's your fault for keeping the seats so clean. You brought this on yourself, you foolish women.
And then I was escorted from the premises. Asked not to return.
Again.
Anyway. So I just
Running out of bars in this town.
I just thought it was funny. So while we wait for some questions and stuff to come in from Facebook listeners and stuff, let's just chit chat about some stuff.
Did you I know you did because you mentioned it in a text. This Smash Mouth.
Yeah, you want to get right into that?
What the hell happened to this dude? I just read about it. I haven't seen the video yet.
Okay.
I just read about it, about him losing his
Amateur
shit.
opinion.
Yeah.
A bad reaction between either prescription or illicit drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
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 The dude from actually he was diagnosed with, he does have some health issues. Number one
Yeah,
being
no, he's on some shit and drunk there. Like,
yeah.
that's,
I think whatever the health issues are, they don't make you this messed up typically. But because I saw something.
What's the medical condition that makes you give the Nazi salute again? Which one's that?
Oh, that's upper arm aphasia, where you can't help but do that every once in a while. Just, oh no, it's happening again! Ah!
Dr.
No,
Strangelove
stop!
had that. Yeah.
No, it's
Dr. Strangelove had that.
Yeah,
like Tourette's, but different.
Mein Führer, I can walk. All right, so you can, if you're watching on Facebook, you guys can see this story. It's crazy. He says the lead singer from Smash Mouth says he's retiring because of one show. Steve Harwell said he's retiring, saying, "Ever since I was a kid, I dreamed of being a rock star, performing in front of sold-out arenas, and having been so fortunate to live out that dream. To my bandmates, it's been an honor performing with all you through the years. I can't think of it." Blah, 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 blah. Here is the video that of this concert, and it's fucking crazy.
Okay, I know the ethics of this aren't great, but I did just see Smash Mouth perform live at a local beer and wine festival. When I say this is the most chaotic show I've ever seen in my entire life, I have no words.
At no point was the sound balanced.
Okay, so there was that. There was constant feedback. There looks like there's 12 people here. We have more people in this room right now watching us on Facebook than Smash Mouth had at their entire concert. They sold 10 million albums.
We didn't write All Star.
That's true. I don't even know that we could have. So yeah, the sound was bad. Okay, here's another thing. The sound was very painful, they say.
Unintelligible speech.
He said to one person, "No, you're a fucking nutbag." Then he did the Sieg Heil, Nazi salute. The speakers blew out again, and he said, "We're going to Greece."
I'm sorry, what?
He said, "We're going to Greece."
Okay.
Maybe they were going to start playing songs from the musical Grease.
Maybe.
He
Yeah.
threatened to kick somebody's ass.
Well, yeah, hold on. He says, "Fuck you bitches." My favorite part of this is he brought a random girl on stage who just yells, "It's my fucking birthday!" And this is them doing All Star.
I'll kill your whole family.
Finishes it with saying, "I'll kill your whole fucking family, I swear to God."
At some point, he said, if I could suck my own dick, I wouldn't leave the house.
That's right. He did say that. He said that. So here's the thing.
So the show was so bad that he's like, dude, I am never going on stage again.
Yeah.
And I'm not discounting he may have some psychological issues, but that is not just psychological. That is...
Oh, yeah.
No, he sounds, and don't get me wrong, I've known people that have, I used to have a friend of mine that the whatever meds he was on for a while, he'd be fine and drink like a beer and a half and be falling down and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh my God, he's so drunk." I'm like, "I swear to you, I was here. He didn't even drink 2 beers. It's the meds plus the alcohol that's causing this."
Right. That's exactly right, because he was drinking during the show. Now, here's the thing that I cannot understand. Ayla, my co-host, one time, and this was like 10 years ago, opened for Smash Mouth. And she said this was in Weymouth. Smash Mouth came to Weymouth, Massachusetts, where she's from.
Okay.
She said
They
there
named
was
a Tina after that town.
maybe 20 people at the entire concert,
Oof.
and at least 12 of them were there for her. It didn't care about Smash Mouth. The 8 that were there for Smash Mouth left right after they played All Star, which was, she said, the first song they played.
Oh, don't you save that till the end?
Yeah. Yeah, you would
Or
think
is it
so.
like
That's when you play All Star Reprise.
Right.
Right. I was going to say, somebody I know once saw Question Mark and the Mysterians at like a state fair, said they opened and closed with 96 Tears.
That's smart. That's smart. And in fact, what you do is you play 96 Tears, and then you say after done, "Hey, if you guys like that, we got it for you again later in the show. So stick around."
He said they literally walked out, did 96 Tears, and he thought, "Wow, I can't believe they're doing their biggest song first."
Yeah.
So they did all these other songs, and then at the end, they were like, "All right, thanks. This has been fun." And they did 96 Tears again and left.
Good for them. Good for them. They know their place.
Yeah, at least they know.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say about that other than I'm just shocked how few people Smash Mouth can get to come to a show, because it's not like they weren't a very popular band. I would say they had probably the most popular song of the late 90s, All Star. You could not get away from that song.
No, it was in every movie. It was in everything.
And here, let me just do this. I don't know the answer to this, honestly. How much do you think the lead singer for Smash Mouth is worth? Let's do Celebrity Price is Right. How much do you think he's worth?
He's bringing in that cow, I'm sure.
Oh, he's pulling down that sweet cow. That's why he can retire at like 54. Okay, his name is
I feel like anything he made, he's blown.
Harwell. Net worth is $2.5 million.
Hey, I think you make more than that.
I make $19 million a year, according to Celebrity. I believe. If am I on here? Hold on. Let me see. I doubt it. I can't be because this is like a legitimate site.
God, I hope not.
No, I'm not on there. Thank God.
I think John's to a point
Walking
where...
on the Sun. That was the other one.
Yeah, Walking on the Sun. Thank you, Rachel. That was a good song. Let me do this. Jonathan Weir net worth. I just want to see if this is still ludicrous. Oh yeah, here we go. Jonathan Weir. Born on December 1st, 1981 in Overland Park, Kansas. Nope.
No.
Belleville, Illinois. Broadcast radio host and personality who's best known for his work on the Kansas City-based 98.1 KMBZ FM program, The Jonathan Weir Show. He also co-hosted the popular Murder the Internet podcast. No, I didn't. I did co-host that podcast. It was not popular. I am worth $19 million, according to this. Okay, hold on. But this is what's really funny. There's some associated images. So some associated images for Jonathan Weir. I'm showing this to you guys on Facebook so you can see it. There's there's a pillow that says no wire hangers. There's a bunch of dog art, like dog faces made out of wire hangers. There's like a spider made out of wire hangers. And there's a bunch of kitchen. There's a kitchen sink and a bunch of plates.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
You don't like doing dishes.
Okay, I mean, if you haven't figured out the association, I have. It's weird.
And
wire. That's the best they could do.
Oh, okay.
Some images associated. Well, wire. Yeah. Steve said they should have had an orange on a toothpick.
Yes.
Yes, Steve. Yes, they should have. Yes, they should have. So yeah, but I don't know that anybody has scraped the bottom as much as Smash Mouth, and that's weird to me because like Rick Springfield was still playing like country fairs and stuff. Tommy Two-Tone could play a county fair. They had one song, but Smash Mouth had like 3 big songs. They had All Star. They had 4 Walking on the Sun. They had I'm a Believer, and Then the Morning Comes. Yeah.
Yeah. Then the morning comes. That's
what
right.
happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I look at the dude from Creed. He's like sleeping in his truck at one point.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Scott Stapp is a mess, but I guarantee if Creed put on a show, they would have more than 20 people show up for it.
Yeah, sadly, you're right.
Yeah.
What was that we were talking about? I don't think it was the 90s show. We were talking.
Oh no, the audio just went out again. God. I can hear them talking.
It's a thing.
Now I can hear
I
it
don't
again.
know.
I don't know. It's
Ruin
dry.
stuff.
I don't know what I need to do. I need to get a new board.
It's
Yeah.
not important.
No, it's not. It's not.
No, like we talked about on a show though. There was
There we go. Okay.
Like
He
a-
said no audio.
Yes.
nothing still.
No, we're good. No, he said there
Oh, we're
wasn't
good.
any audio. I was just making
Oh.
sure it was something that I was right about trying to reset. Yeah.
Okay. No, we talked about on the show. Like a couple of bands playing together, or maybe it was like lame white rappers,
Mhm.
and they were playing up in northern Illinois somewhere. It was up around Naperville, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but Smash Mouth was there too, and you commented that certainly Smash Mouth hasn't fallen that far, but yeah, they have.
Oh my God.
Bad.
I mean, like, I think Bill Cosby could get more people to show up for a show at this point than Smash Mouth.
Yeah, I'd go see Bill Cosby.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I kind of would. Okay, hold
I
on.
would. No, totally. If someone said I have tickets to go see Smash Mouth or Bill Cosby, I'd be like, get in the car. We're going to Cosby.
Okay, somebody wanted to know what my celebrity net worth ranking is. I've drifted. I'm down to 47,929th. That's on you guys. You're supposed to go to famousbirthdays.com, click on Jonathan Weir radio host, and click on Boost.
It doesn't mean you're stealing Jonathan from that website.
Steal me. Steal me. All right, let's get to some questions because people did ask some stuff here.
Okay.
Here it is. I have to scroll up a little bit. Oh, Gordon wrote, "Hey, now you're a former rock star. The show's over. Time to go home." Good. Dustin said, "Take all the bits you did on the show and answer the following. Forget a bit ever happened. A best bit not done again, but only remembered. And bit hope to bring back." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what he's asking.
Is this like fuck, marry, kill on something you did on the show?
Oh, okay. Okay. Take all the bits you did on the show and finally forget a bit ever happened. A bit best not done again, but only remembered. And a bit hope to bring back. Okay.
It's kind of fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah, kind of. So forget a bit ever. So if I could forget a bit that ever happened, it would probably be the time that Rod and Rebecca locked me outside of the studio when it was negative 20 degrees outside.
That was funny.
It was hilarious.
It was
hilarious.
It was
I still have nightmares about that. I've literally woken up in a cold sweat because I'm having a nightmare that I'm trying to get back in the studio before I freeze to death. I was begging you for the life of me and the life of my children. You were just laughing.
Rebecca, they're like, here's our chance.
Yeah.
Also, it would help him on the forgiveness to be able to forget that.
Yeah, true. Right. A bit best not done again, but only remembered.
I don't know. We did
I guess
one.
Rob would probably say the humans are dead because he hated that. That was where we did robot news.
Yes, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I know we did one time that was really funny. That was we were going to talk to the oldest living person in East St. Louis.
Yeah, the oldest living person in East St. Louis.
37.
Because there was a story about the oldest living person in St. Louis, and it was this 104-year-old woman in like I can't remember, like St. Charles or something. And I was like, "Hey, Rod, we should get Ronabom on to pretend to be the oldest living person in East St. Louis." And Rod was like, "What? Why?" And it's like, "Because then he'll just sound like a young man." So we had him on. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? You're the oldest living man in East St. Louis." He's like, "Yep." And I was like, "You don't sound too old. What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm 27."
Yeah. Spend a lot of time on the floor.
Yeah, just dodging bullets. It was a good bit. It was solid. It was a solid, good bit. But it was also a bit that is only as good as it is like that one joke. Like once you get that one joke in, there's really nowhere else to go with it. So we're just kind of like, so thanks. It lasted maybe 30 seconds, but it was good.
Yeah.
And a bit you hope to bring back. I don't know. I mean, I guess this stuff, interaction with you guys in the audience would, love to get that going again.
That was always fun.
Yeah. Oh, the wheel. Somebody said the news wheel. I don't know. We could try that. Oh, the clubbing baby seals call.
Oh my God, that was funny. That was me.
That was Rod. It was. Sorry, James. Hold on. We'll get to some non-Weird Show stuff because James, I'm sure, feels left out. But we had a bit where it was Rod as a guy who clubs baby seals, and basically it was the same bit where it was only funny for one joke, and it was like, how can you do this? Like, it's really easy. They have really soft skulls.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just the club does most of the work. You just swing.
You get a good heavy club and gravity.
Oh, the redneck injury. So that was stupid of the week. I would love to do that. I would love to do that again. The crack baby. That was my friend Snickers. That wasn't a bit.
That was just
Snickers' life. Snickers called in the show one time, or wanted to. He was called me before the show, like 10 minutes before. He's like, "Hey, so my mom found an off the grid crack baby," and I was like, "What?" He's like, "My mom found an off the grid crack baby," and I was like,
"She wants to raise it.
I don't have
do it right this time
to figure out what you're saying, so we're just gonna do this on air." So I put him on air, and it was. I mean, it didn't get any. It didn't get any less.
Yeah,
insane.
It didn't make more sense.
Yeah. So, yeah. Needs a Netflix show. Yeah. Oh, Rebecca's glass door exploding was great.
I remember that.
Yeah.
What about Rebecca's glass ceiling?
Unfortunately, she just not.
Nope, still hitting her head on that.
Still hitting her head on it, which is unfair. She's great. I
miss her dearly.
I do too. I mean, you live by it. You could see her anytime you want.
I know. Yeah, but I don't leave the house anymore, so hardly ever.
All right.
Except to take long contemplative dog walks.
Long walks with the dog, listening to Motown. And last night, I was telling Jonathan earlier. Last night, I was walking the dog, taking our nightly little 2-mile walk, and I usually listen to Motown, and for some reason the Motown, it kept playing all these slow songs. I'm like, no, I need more. Like I need upbeat music to keep me walking. And so I thought, here, I'll put on some George Clinton. And then I realized I seem like a psycho. Like I'm walking down the street at 10 o'clock at night with my phone playing George Clinton really loud, and it makes no sense at all. It's like some weird music about the Detroit Soda Train or whatever. And yeah, I'm just strolling along with my dog in the dark, listening to George Clinton. I was like, maybe this isn't such a good idea.
Yeah.
But it was much better upbeat music. It got me walking.
Okay, so we're gonna take more comments later. I wanted to talk about some other stuff. I'm sorry,
Okay.
this is tough because I'm not used to having like live interaction. I'm used to just being able to focus on the show at hand. This is amazing. I love it. But I wanted to talk about this. Did everybody see the Jeff Bezos thing yesterday with William Shatner?
No, I heard Shatner was the oldest fucker in space now, but
He did have sex in space. He went up
Wait,
there.
what?
Let me put. Is Shatner and Christopher Walken, are they related at all?
No, but they went to the same acting school.
But Shatner went into space with Jeff Bezos and then came down from space, and Shatner was telling a story about how he was like so amazed by this, and Jeff Bezos interrupted him, was like, yeah, that's great, and shook up champagne and sprayed it all over the place because someone else was getting attention for a second, and Jeff Bezos couldn't handle it. Then he poured the champagne and offered it to Shatner, who said no, because Shatner is a recovering alcoholic.
Okay.
So a couple of things. First of all, I recently had an issue with this where there's a host that works in my building, not at my station, but at another station, who had some severe addiction issues. Like was off the show that he was on for like 3 months because he's a recovering everything addict, like anything. I was talking to him once, and it's literally like, that Mr. Show bit where it's like, so you've done smoke pot, yeah. You've done heroin, sure.
Yeah.
You've smoked crack. Oh yeah. What's crack like? It gets you really high. It's great.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's
He's like that guy. Meth. You've done meth. Hell, I've smoked it. I've snorted it. I did it intravenously. I've done every drug, man. Every single one. It was crazy.
I'm a drug addict, an alcoholic, a gambling addict, porn addict, sex addict.
Yeah.
No, I once
I'm
met,
addicted to being an addict.
addicted.
I
Well,
once met a dude in a therapy like situation, and the person
you mean
running
in
the
therapy?
group,
Was it in
Yeah.
therapy, Ron?
it was in group therapy, okay?
Why didn't you just say in therapy?
It was court ordered, okay? So I'm sitting there, and the person leading, like the therapist that's leading the group therapy, is going around and asking people about drugs and things. And yeah, they asked me, like, what all drugs have you done? I'm like, can I just list the ones I haven't done? Because that takes a lot less time. And they asked this other dude next to me, they're like, so you, sir, what's your drug of choice? And he goes, more. That was it. That was his answer.
Yeah,
More.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow,
That's
dude.
good. How are you alive?
I thought I was bad. Jeez.
Here's the thing about Jeff Bezos, though. I don't know anybody who could be Jeff Bezos that would be Jeff Bezos except for Jeff Bezos. What I mean by that is he's the richest man in the world,
Right.
and I don't think anybody would trade places with him.
No,
Like
he's a dork.
no, hold on, because you're thinking, oh, it would be great because I would have his money. Yes, you'd have his money, but you'd also have to be him.
No.
I don't think anybody wants to be him,
No.
and that's weird. Because I would have traded like Bill Gates, a little nerdy, like sweaters a little bit too much, but I'd be Bill Gates. But Jeff Bezos is just such a creepy, uncharismatic weirdo.
Oh, he's so obviously the guy that got picked on too much
Yeah.
that now wants to pick on people.
Yes, he's the jock that made, or he's the nerd that made it big,
Right.
which is pretty common, I guess, out there. But yeah, I just don't know anybody who could be Jeff Bezos, who would be him, except for him. And I discussed this when I was on KMBZ. Think of what Jeff Bezos, with all of his power, could be. He doesn't have to be this uncharismatic,
No, he could be fucking Santa Claus.
penis-looking supervillain. He could be Santa
Yes.
Claus. Yeah, he could literally be Santa Claus.
No,
He-
instead he's like you said, he's a rubber dildo Lex Luthor.
Yeah, he has the power. He has the wish lists. He has the means of production. He has everybody's address, and he has a penis-shaped rocket, just like Santa Claus.
Yeah, everybody's wish list.
But he chooses not to be Santa Claus.
Yeah, no, he's an
Messed
ass.
up.
I mean, the profit margins in being Santa Claus.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
No, I've never understood this desire to go to space thing, that like I have so much money that I don't know what to do with it, so I'm going to go to space. Like that makes no fucking sense to me at all.
I think it's almost like maybe people, you know what I think it is? Jeff Bezos goes to space because he thinks that's like hitting the reset button. That's like turning it off and turning it back on again. Like Jeff
Yes.
Bezos, like everybody hates me. Everybody blames me for all of society's ills.
he keeps hoping he's going to come down in his Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, yes, I think that's his theory. I think he thinks I'm going to go up into space, and then when I come back down, people will just like it'll be a fresh start. I'll step off at the space and be like, "Oh, hey, how's it going, spaceman? How's it going?" And honestly, if you were told Jeff Bezos was an alien, would you disagree with that?
No,
I wouldn't.
no.
I wouldn't. Something else I wanted to talk about is: are you guys reading any books? You read? Readers?
I am not right now.
No. James?
No, I actually sat down the other day with a book that I found in my house that I'm like, where did this book come from? I was like, I don't know. But I swear to you, the book is Comedy Writing for Idiots. And I was like, why is this here? And I was looking for a different book. I was telling my son about the book Ender's Game and how great Ender's Game is. And I'm like, you gotta read it.
Yeah.
And so I was looking through all the books on this, like, I know it's here somewhere. And I found it, but then I found this Comedy Writing for Idiots.
I fixed it, everybody. Sorry. Yeah.
And
Comedy
so
Writing
I
for
sat
Idiots.
down. So I sat down and started to read through Comedy Writing for Idiots and realized shit, I'm actually I'm not enough of an idiot for this book. Like, it just pissed me off. Like, this is stupid. This isn't helpful.
Yeah. I read one of those books one time because I used to be, when I first started at KMBZ, I was very insecure about everything about me. But because if you guys remember the very early days of the Weir Show when I was on middays, I basically wasn't allowed to talk to anybody and just had to sit there and beg people to call me.
Right.
It was awful. I hated it. And so I was very insecure about my talent or anything like that. So I read lots of those books, like how to make people laugh without even trying and stuff like that. And it was all the same advice. It was always like, well, you need to find what's weird and what's different and accentuate that. It's like, that's all I do. That's not working.
That's my life.
Somebody brought up, remember the guy that used to call in? People said that was fake. That's not fake. That was a guy. He used to call in, and we'd be like, oh, yeah, there was this massacre at campgrounds. It's a tragic story. And somebody would be like, hey, yeah, I was at campgrounds one time, and we had sex, and every time we had sex, some guy with a hockey mask would come out and cut off our heads with a machete. Like that's Friday the 13th. No, it was my life.
That was my life.
Yeah.
When I was 10, my parents went on vacation and they left me at home alone in this great big house in Chicago. And then burglars came and I had to set up booby traps to hurt the burglars. And it's like, no, that was Home Alone.
That was Home Alone. Home Alone.
It's like, no, it's my life.
You know, if you pay close attention to the beginning of Home Alone, it says based on a true story, and it's my true story.
I don't remember that in Home Alone, but I asked the question if you've read any books. I've been reading Dave Grohl's autobiography. It's called Storyteller, which weird name for a book by Dave Grohl. Like I get it because I also I never was on Dave Grohl's level, but like I hate the title of anything I make. It's just so I could see him just going with something basic and simple, and he went with Storyteller. I think any other musician would have been like, one of my biggest songs, Learning to Fly. I'll do that, or Everlong, or
what is foo and how do you fight it?
Floaty. That's what I'll do. Hey, oh, George.
Weenie Beanie.
And Weenie Beanie. Yes, Weenie Beanie. The story of Dave Grohl. David Eric Grohl. If you haven't read it, and I'm assuming most of you have not, you should because it's phenomenal. It's so good. And I'm actually not even reading the book. I'm listening to the audiobook, and it's him reading it. And there was a note from the editor that was like, I've done a lot of these books, and here's the way it works. Usually, when a rock star is doing an autobiography, like a Dave Grohl, we just sit them down for like 10 hours of interviews. Then we have a ghostwriter pick through those interviews, find the best stories, and then just kind of weave them together. When we approached Dave to do a book, he's like, I don't know if I have time to do a book. And they're like, it wouldn't take any time at all. You just sit down, do like 10 hours of interviews, and then we'll just write the story. And he said there was a pause on the other end of the line, and Dave went, fuck that, I'm going to write it myself. And it's good he did, because I had no idea he actually is a very gifted storyteller, and his emotional depth is amazing. It's not like I thought he was an idiot, but when the Foo Fighters songs don't hit me as emotionally as like Nirvana songs, and I think that's always been kind of a thing with where people like Nirvana a little bit more than the Foo Fighters. Most people do. And the reason is because like there's an emotional connection to Nirvana, whereas the Foo Fighters, it's just kind of like, oh, that's a fun song about being angry,
Well, it's a lot more, not that I consider the Foo Fighters pop, but it's a lot more pop compared to Nirvana.
Sure.
Which is a lot more gritty and a lot more, the early Nirvana especially was a lot more angst.
There's a lot more layers. Like, I mean, in Nirvana, there's some double tracking, but that's pretty much it. Like, Dave has no problem with, quadruple tracking and like going full on Abbey Road on stuff. But I don't want to retell the stories in it, but there's a story in it that he talks about, and I had no idea this happened. Remember he broke his leg like 12 years ago?
Yeah, he did the tour.
I had
Yeah,
no
they made a
idea,
chair.
but he goes into it in very intense detail about that incident. He finished the show. He fell off of a stage 12 feet. He landed, broke his ankle, broke all the ligaments in his ankle, and broke his fibula. Which one is that down there? I don't know.
The tibia or the fibula.
Fibula. He broke his fibula. And then
Yeah, I knew he broke it in like 4 places or some shit, and it was really bad. But I didn't realize it was at a show that he broke it.
Yeah, it was at a show, and so it was in Sweden, and or Norway maybe, I can't remember, but they take him backstage, and the doctor literally takes his shoe off, and his foot balloons up, and the doctor his ankle and his foot's dislocated, so he has to shove it back in. And Dave, okay, takes it says to his wife, "Hey, bring me a red Solo cup filled with Crown Royal." She brings it to him. He drinks the whole thing, then looks at the doctor and is like, "All right, let's do it."
Go.
Doctor does it, and then Dave's like, "All right, can I go back on stage?" And the doctor's like, "Your leg is broken, and I just had to shove your foot back into the socket." No. He's like, "In fact, if I let go of your foot right now, it's going to fall out of the socket again, and you're not going to be able to walk, possibly ever again." And then Dave looked at the doctor and said, "Well, guess what? You're going out on stage with me then, motherfucker." And they wheel him out onto the stage. He sits in a chair and finishes the set. Just Guns N' Roses once canceled a show because James Hetfield caught fire.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Metallica was opening for Guns N' Roses. James Hetfield stood too close to a mercury discharge. He caught fire, and Guns N' Roses canceled their show. That's just amazing to me. That's just amazing. So, and now the audio's gone again. Should be back now. Hold on. Yeah. Just consider that like a commercial break, guys. That's what that is. So
I think it's
Cody Akins at AkinsPCRepair.com.
I think it's every time James speaks, we lose the audio. That's what happens.
It's all signs are pointing it to being my fault.
I really do think. I mean, I don't know how it could possibly be your fault, but it is.
Yeah.
You be proud of yourself, you son of a
But
bitch.
it totally is.
Hey, 3 older sisters. I'm taking blame.
Yeah.
Sorry,
All right.
my fault.
Well, it's also fun because we keep getting near like 30 to 40 viewers on Facebook, and then every time we lose audio, it goes back down to like 19 because we were like, "Oh, I guess they're done." Ari said Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters trolling Westboro Baptist Church in August out of the back of the
that was
pickup during a
great.
concert was so cool. Yep.
That was great.
Yep.
Grabbing some BGs on him.
Yep. Yeah, some DGs. I mean, he's just the greatest. And I talked about this on the podcast a couple weeks ago, but I read a thing about how important it is to invent an alter ego for yourself. Like, you should do that to if you have anxiety problems and things like that. Think Dave Grohl. That's going to be my alter ego. And it's not that I'm going to pretend to be Dave Grohl because I'm not crazy, but I'm just going to, when I'm in a situation, WWDGD.
What would Dave Grohl do?
Yes.
So what? Basically, do you remember the movie True Romance?
Yes, love that movie.
The movie True Romance. Christian Slater's character keeps seeing Elvis talk to him.
Yeah.
Technically, that character is just called Mentor.
Yes, mentor. And
It's
he's like, you know, I like you. I always have and always will.
Yeah.
And so basically, you've got Dave Grohl standing behind you.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, Dave. Do you think it's a good idea? And Dave's going to be there going, John, you got this, dude. Don't even worry about it.
That's it.
Now here's my question about your Dave Grohl mentor. Is it performed by Val Kilmer, and do you never see his face? Like a Clarence. Always have.
I always
And for some reason he's talking like that.
Yeah. Your Dave Grohl is Val Kilmer doing Elvis, but you never see his face.
I'm trying to think, like, if there was a movie about Dave Grohl, and there never will be because he's the coolest guy ever, but he's boring as hell because there's no point in this autobiography where he's like, and then I chased the dragon of heroin for 3 long months. It's not everything like that. He's just like, oh, and then I found out Kurt was doing heroin and it made me sad. It's stuff like that.
Oh,
It's like Goofus and Gallant.
Yeah.
that's a bummer.
Yeah, seriously, that's like an entire chapter. Is like Nirvana. Oh, we were having the time of our lives. We conquered the world, and I noticed Kurt was not too happy about it, and that made me sad.
No, but in all fairness, most comic book heroes and rock stars have like the same kind of biopsy, where it's their parents were really shitty or they died and they were outcast and nobody liked them and they didn't fit in anywhere. And then they finally found their thing through fighting crime or music.
Every time Dave has a problem, he calls his mom and she gives him great advice. That's literally, it's the worst but best rock autobiography ever.
Because it's funny because I don't give a shit if you read I read a book about Andrew Loog Oldham, who was the producer for the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
I read a book about Motley Crue. I read a book about fucking all kinds of different punk rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
What's his fucking name? The Stooges, Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop.
I read all this shit about him. I read all kinds of stuff about, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Other than Paul McCartney,
yeah,
the rest of them
Dave
Grohl
is the 90s Paul McCartney. That's what he is. There's no point in making a rock biopic about either one. Because, I mean, you should, but it would be so boring. Because people would be like, okay, and then what? Oh, and then okay, and then bad stuff happened to other people, and he was sad. That sucks. And like even at points of conflict, where it's like he was in a band called Scream, which is a really cool underground band, like really really badass hardcore, but like very melodic band that he was in, from Washington D.C. And they broke up in L.A. and then he was stranded in Los Angeles. Well, okay, that sucks, but I can think of worse places to be stranded. And then because he was stranded in L.A., a friend of his from Aberdeen, Washington, called him and said, hey, have you ever heard of Nirvana? And Dave Grohl's like, oh, my God, I love Nirvana. They're like, Bleach is one of my favorite albums of all time. And they're like, yeah, they're looking for a drummer. And that's it. That's the story of Dave Grohl joining Nirvana. A friend of his who grew up in Springfield, Virginia, moved to Aberdeen, Washington, became friends with Nirvana, heard Dave Grohl wanted to be in another band, and was like, oh, hey, Nirvana is looking for a drummer. And so Dave Grohl joined Nirvana, and that's it. That's the entire story.
And that's the history.
That's the history. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you ever read about Eddie Vedder joining Pearl Jam, it was this long, drawn out. There were letters written back and forth between Gossett and he, and all this discussion, and they were sending each other tapes of each other's music and stuff, and like this long going pen pal kind of thing before they ever met. Mm-hmm. And then
okay. It's coming back.
Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. I'm sorry. Okay, we're done. I can't with this. This is driving me nuts. But thanks so much, everybody, for listening.
Real quick. I know.
Get it in quick because we don't know. This is gonna crash again.
I know. Rod meant Stone Gossard, but he said Gossett. So then I just thought of Eddie Vedder writing letters to Lou Gossett Jr.
Lou Gossett Jr.
And then just being pen pals.
That's why it took so long to get the band back together. It wasn't even the right guy.
The dude from Air America and Officer and a Gentleman showed up. I'll just end it with this. That's fine that Rod got that wrong because God love him, my father-in-law and my mother-in-law were visiting last weekend and into this week, and it was great seeing them again, and I love those guys. But my father-in-law kept referring to Patrick Mahomes as Patrick McHolmes.
Oh.
And I kept telling him, no, it's Mahomes. And he's like, I know.
McCombs.
And I just he said, I know. I know, but I have a speech impediment where if the name sounds vaguely Irish,
So
I have to say Mick.
But I can't say Sylvester, George.
I had some ketchup flavored chips today.
Were they good?
They tasted like ketchup, and I thought Patrick Mahomes would like these.
He would. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why the Chiefs are playing like garbage, because Patrick Mahomes is not practicing, spending all of his time with his chips.
Now here's the thing: I'd seen ketchup flavored chips in Canada. They're a big thing in Canada. They taste like ketchup. I just don't like ketchup that much to want to eat chips that taste like them.
I mean, if I wanted, have you ever eaten chips and be like, you know what would make this? Ketchup.
Ketchup.
No,
No.
that's gross. All right.